are you able to throw out, a couple, 2, 3 lessons from creating that would help other Web3 entrepreneurs or community builders who are looking to maybe see what you did and take some of those best practices over to what they're doing too? Because, you looped in a best-selling author and 3,000 plus people in your project, and I think that's really novel.
Yeah, I mean, the thesis, we kind of said at the beginning, but the thesis that we had when we started it was that thousands of people from all over the world can come together to make something better than like we could by ourselves. And we truly believe that. And I think after this process, I think Neil truly believes it as well. To VJ's point, there's so many things that there's so many ways that creatives, combat writer's block or whatever it is that they do. I think if you were to ask Neil, he would say that being able to bounce an idea off of 3,000 people is incredibly like invaluable, or I guess I should say valuable. And I think it made for like a really awesome work. And after coming out of it, I think there's for sure things that we learned, for sure things that we could have done better. Every single time we do one of these, we're going to improve. But our hope is that folks do take note, right? And that they adopt this in some way. They democratize the way that content's created. They put their own spin on it, because ultimately, like that's how disruption happens, and that's how an industry can get shifted. And that's really our goal. We don't need to be the people doing it every time. And I think a good example is if community generative content and community voting, community lore creation has already started to take off a lot, and so has licensing, right? Especially after what we did. And so I think there's a lot of people who have picked up on it, and they're putting their own spin on it, and that's really cool to see.
Yeah, you mentioned licensing there. What's the takeaway for how people should be thinking about maybe trying to license NFTs? Like, is that for every project or every person, or do you think there's a specific group of people that looking to actually license their NFT for other creative work really falls into?
I think that there's likely not like a single answer, and it's probably like case by case to some degree. For us, the thing that we think is so compelling about NFT licensing is that it's a way for someone to let their creativity flow into like other creative works. So you've got all these people out there that are exercising creativity in one way or another. They're creating characters, they're building a brand around avatars. Like they don't have to be completely like, fictitious. Jenkins the Valet is obviously like just a fake character. Thread Guy, our director of vibes at Tally Labs, and really sort of just like a, obviously an influential member of the Web3 space, is just as tied to like his mutant ape as Jenkins is to the Bored Ape. But Thread Guy is not the same type of character. But
Yeah.
folks build and they build value that accrues back to this asset, and they own the commercial rights to that asset. And a licensing agreement is, we think a pretty, once you've done the legal work and once you've done the software work, and so you've got the platform and you've got the agreements, a licensing agreement is a really awesome way to like take creativity and like shoot it into something that like another creator is working on. And I believe that there are countless examples, not just in like book writing, but in really any type of creative where like folks might stand to gain by leaning into licensing NFT avatars.
Yeah. Have we seen a NFT take off from like the licensing or IP around that specific character take off like we would a traditional, obviously we're nowhere near a traditional Disney character yet, right? But I think Jenkins is one of the more standout individual characters amongst a collection. Bored Ape Yacht Club has now gone global, but I don't know, has a specific ape or NFT in a different collection gone, quote unquote global around its IP, its recognizability yet?
I think it's probably easiest to just quote you, which was Jenkins is up there
Yeah.
without saying it ourselves. I think we're really proud of the work that we've done. I think most people would say we've sort of broken down barriers as to what an NFT character can do. There's a lot of folks out there who we really respect, and also our goal is for many of the ones that appeared in our book to see lift from this, right? Like Captain Trippy and every other yacht character. Our goal is to try and bring value back. So there's so many awesome ones. And that's a large selling point of the writer's room, right? Is we're not just going to create one book. We're going to create, dozens of pieces of content. So we think that the mark of like a great character isn't just how big that character gets. It's how big they're able to bring other people along with them. But outside of that, I mean, I think all of the mega mutants have like massive potential. We're huge fans of many of those owners and know that they have some really exciting plans. Curtis and Jimmy have like massive potential, right? I don't think Yuga has like fully unleashed the power that can come from there. There's for sure more coming. But I think we've laid like a really cool groundwork and hope that others kind of see what we're doing and feel inspired themselves.
You're listening to the Unstoppable Podcast, the go-to place for everyone to learn about the latest innovations in Web3, NFTs, and the decentralized web. Welcome to the Metaverse.